There we are. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday. Uh, so obviously, I did an announcement yesterday, and I think a lot of people like a lot of positive replies, only one or two negative. But there's always going to be people that aren't happy with any decision that you make. But I wanted to clarify. We're going to talk about that tonight. What my thought process is, what my game plan is, and all those type of things. So anyway. Yeah. So before we get started, I would just like to remind everybody that if we have any kind of interruption with the stream at all, I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. So just please be patient, hang in there with me. And, they like to play their little games, and that's what they do. So we have to, we have to play the game. So that's what we're going to do. But so if there's any interruptions with the stream, I'll get back on as soon as I can. You may not get a notification, but I will definitely get back on. Okay. I don't know. It's what they do. And so we have to play that game. So, but anyway, besides that, I want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. So I would ask you all to be decent in the chat, be kind, and we'll go from there. And if you can't follow those simple rules, those awesome people that you see lit up in blue will definitely boot you out of here, because we're just not going to tolerate it, and that's just the way it goes. Okay. And we do have our fair share to come in, but my moderators are awesome, and they take care of stuff, so that's pretty cool. All right. So was on the phone today with a young man that lives in Tennessee, and I won't say what part, but I was chatting with him today, and we will. He's going to get in contact with a realtor for me, and I'm going to be. I'm planning a trip. So when I told my daughter, I got first of all. Okay, so let me explain where my thought process is first, and then I'll talk about moving forward what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so I'm not putting my homestead on the market tomorrow. That's not going to be anything like that. That's not what's going to happen. Okay. What I plan on doing is I want to go down south. I want to find the right piece of property for me, for my needs, where I want to be. I laugh when somebody's like, oh, well, all these people are moving to Tennessee and they're buying property and this and that. So, you better hurry up. Well, people are going on to Tennessee and are buying property with houses and wells and septics and everything already in place. I don't want any of that. Okay. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a remote location, farther away, not anywhere near a big city, obviously. So most people are not looking for that. They want to be closer to the cities. They want to be in, a town or whatever the case may be. That's not what I want. I want to be as remote as I possibly can be. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And there's that land, that land is everywhere if you're really looking for the right thing. So that's what I'm going to do first. So before I do anything up here in New York, as far as even thinking of getting rid of this place, and that's the other thing too, and I want you to realize, I'm not even sure if I'm going to get rid of this property here. I absolutely love this property. I'll be honest with you. And that's, I just hate the winters. Winters are what suck in New York. And there's a lot of other reasons that New York sucks too, but winters would be the big one. But what I need to do first is I need to go down. I need to find the right property. Once I find that right property, I'm going to purchase the property. And then what my game plan is, and this is what I was kind of like running past Mom and Beck, is I was thinking that like when we get into this winter coming up, instead of sitting here freezing my behind off in New York State, go down to the property and start working on it in the winter months so that I can continue to be active and I can continue to work on things and get things squared away. At the same time, still keeping this property here. I don't have to get rid of this property. I own it free and clear. Everything that we've done on this property, we pay cash for. So, that's kind of where, I'm thinking now. 2-3 years down the road, I get established in, let's say it's Tennessee. Let's say it ends up being Tennessee. Okay, we'll just use that as an example. And I get myself established there, and I like the area, and I'm working on it and stuff like that. I may say, you know what, it's time to make the move completely, and then once I have infrastructure in place there, I can make the move and come, get rid of the property up here and move down there fully. But I'm not going to go down and live on a raw piece of land with everything and move everything down there. That would just be logistically, number one, it would be a nightmare. So I need to have things in place down there. And there's a couple things that go along with the thing. Hey, no, do not start. Get down. Don't start. I just took you out. I literally just took this dog out, and now she's going to start. Why do you do this? Why are you naughty? I got to show you what I'm dealing with here, guys. Hold on. This is what I, it's, oh, and just so you see, there's Miss Soxy, there's Mr. Loose, and then there's Mr. Max. So, yeah. Oh, and let's not forget, over there is Caesar. I don't know why they want to be like right up my behind all the time, but that's what does happen. But anyway, so I was talking with Heather. So I'll tell you this part of it right now. I was talking with Heather, and I was telling her what I want to do, and she's like, well, I want to go. So I said, well, when are you done with school? And so I think she will be finishing up like by May 9th. So, I don't have a locked in time frame that I have to be here by XYZ date. That's not what this is not anything that I've really thought about this for a long time. Anybody that's watched this channel for a long time knows that, I don't want to be in New York. I don't like New York. So, I definitely want to fully move down south, but I have to be smart when I do it. The amount of stuff that I've added here at the homestead since we've been here, in June we'll start our 7th year full time here at the homestead, is a ton. So, I have to think about that, the cost of packing everything up. And when we do make that ultimate move, doing that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be pretty tough. But, again, oh, absolutely, I'll still be doing YouTube. Yep. Mary Taylor. Yep. Think about this. Okay. So here's what I want you guys to think about too. What I have done here over the last basically almost 7 years. Okay. I have learned a ton, learned a lot of stuff. And so there's some things that I would do different on a new homestead, how I would set it up, a little bit differently. So there's a lot that would go into that. And so, when I get this piece of property and I start doing what I want to do down there, there's a certain way that I'm going to do things, which would be, like I said, totally different than up here. And, because that practical experience learning what works and what doesn't work, just even with the solar, from day one, I would put up a solar rack. The only regret that I have when I put up this solar rack is the base pipes that I did not go larger, but they were so much more expensive at the time when we were doing that. We just went with the other ones that are like, they'll be okay. And they are. Don't get me wrong. They're not going anywhere. My solar rack's not going to fall down. But I'm at a point where I'm like going, okay, if I do this again, I'm going to go with a much more solid solar rack as far as the piping, that you're putting into the ground and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's just, it's going to be a work in progress. It's going to take time, but I've learned a lot from being here. I know how I would want to set things up. And so what I have to look at is obviously location. There has to be a water source, either a well or a spring or something like that. I want high elevation. I want to be in the mountains. I want to be in the woods. So those are criteria for me. So, the higher up elevation I get, the cheaper the land's going to be, especially if it has not been used. It's going to make a big difference. So that's kind of what I'm looking at as well. And so I kind of, like I said, I'm not locked into, I want to be here and here only. I'll look at Kentucky. I will, obviously look at Tennessee, possibly South Carolina. I don't know. When I make this trip, I'm going to go down. I'm going to set things up ahead of time with different realtors and look at different properties. And, that's kind of way I'm going to do it. So, you know, but, that's just, it's like I said, it's going to be a work in progress. This is not something that I'm just going to jump into by the seat of my pants and make it work. That's not what I'm doing here. So, like I said, this property here, I can stay here and I can continue to own it as long as I want to. But eventually, I definitely see us selling this property and then moving, to a better area full time. More isolated, depending on, how the soil is, and how much sunshine. I mean, obviously, what you guys don't understand about New York, and I just kind of try to explain it a little bit. You see some of the stuff that I show here on video, but when you get into winter in New York, and it's gloomy and it's overcast, nothing's growing. You got snow on the ground. It's cold. The wind is blowing. It just sucks. You have no motivation. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to be outside. And I mean, if you're into cross country skiing or if you're into snowmobiling or downhill skiing, those type of things, then it's for you. I just, as I get older, I'd like the cold less and less. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. In the woods, you got to clear a lot of trees for solar. Oh yeah, absolutely. But you know what? Those trees can be also used to build. You can use those trees to build. I mean, you look at, and I'm going to say his name again just because his channel is so awesome. My Self-Reliance, but with Sean James. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome channel. All right. He actually today's video I was watching. He was building his house first, which I think is kind of funny. But that's cool. But you know, utilize the trees on your own property. Why not? When you get your next property, let's nearby. Again, if I have to hire people to come in and do stuff, then I will. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. But I will tell you this. I learned a lot working with Greg. He taught me a lot. Now, could I go out there and do a master building thing? No, I can't, but I can do enough to get by. And, and I would do what I had to do. But again, I love the area down there. As you guys know, I lived in North Carolina before, and I love North Carolina. Absolutely, just thought it was fantastic. When I went up into Asheville, just on a day trip, we went up into Asheville, and it is unbelievably beautiful up there. But that whole area now is like so expensive, and I'm not looking for that. I don't want something that's already done when I get there. I want to have, like when we got here, if you guys went back and looked at our early videos when we bought this property, there was nothing here. I mean, the shop, that was it. And, so we worked on things and we had our vision and all that type of stuff. So, like I said, we're going to see how it goes. And, but the first step is that going to be in the middle of nowhere and will be Amish solar? Yeah. You know what? Wherever I go, I'm going to tell you right now, wherever I decide to be, it will be off grid. Absolutely will be off grid. Let Marie shopping addiction. I live in New York and we are currently looking for a house with property in North Carolina. We sold our off-grid house 2 years ago. Like I said, better weather. The people are different as well in the South. They really, truly are. I can't say anything bad about the people in the South. They're really decent people. Like where I'm at now, I'm going to tell you what, the people where I'm at now are awesome people, but we're out in the country. Okay. You get into the cities and it's just it's a different mindset. It really, truly is. I mean, when I had gone up the other day and picked up Heather and we were riding in the city and got stuck in a traffic jam on the highway and everything was congested and we were just putting along. It sucked. And I'm like, and I looked over my shoulder and I said to her, I go, man, I don't miss this. I don't miss it at all. I have no desire to be anywhere near that. I like my peace. I like my quiet. I like to be able to hop on the bike and just ride and have a good time. And that's what I'm looking for. So, and I had somebody say, "Oh, there's a lot of drugs there and stuff like that." There's a lot of drugs everywhere. Okay. So your meth heads and all that type of your tweakers, they're everywhere. So it doesn't matter where you go, they're going to be there. But if they know that you're not about that, then there you go. Let's see. I had somebody ask a question here. Hold on, I want to find that question. Okay, what about your mom, sister, and Eddie? Will they go with you? Okay, good question. That was Liz MM asked that. All right, yeah, Mom and Becky absolutely would. South Colorado Stetter, thank you very much for the donation, man. I appreciate that. Mom and Becky are, they're coming down no matter what. Margie, I talk with her. She's in 100%, 100%. So whatever I decide to do, she's down for it. Okay. Eddie is not right now. He's with his mom. I'm going to invite him to go on this road trip as well. I doubt he will, to be honest with you, but I'm going to invite him to go anyway. And, at some point, I believe that Eddie will be back with me. That's just a feeling that I have. I just feel like that's going to happen. And if he chooses not to, that's also his choice. He's in a safe environment right now with his mom and his grandparents her mom and stepfather, and so he's there with them right now and he's fine. But like I said, you can't, and then as far as Heather goes, Heather's got a couple more years of college to go, 2 or 3 more years. So that's not an issue as far as that goes. Like I said, I'll probably continue to maintain this property, so I have the property here in New York as well. So you maintain it. For her, she has a New York residence. So as far as schooling and for grants and for scholarships and all that type of stuff, so she has that base still. So I mean, I could see myself still keeping this property at least 2 to 3 more years. I don't know. That may change. If like I said, if I find, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I find the perfect property for the right price and I can go down there and I can pick it up, all bets are off. If I can get the right price for this property, if I do decide to sell it, I mean, I haven't even talked to a realtor here to give me an appraisal of what this property is worth. I have no idea. I know we've done a lot of work on this property, but again, I don't know what I could get for it if I sold it on the open market. I mean, probably not everybody's going to want to live off grid. Maybe they don't want to have their independent solar system. Who knows? Hey, Patriot James, give me a shed and a couple of 100 square feet and I'll work my butt off for you, Ed. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm going to tell you what, we have in my mind, you would think the person that would be the one that would be most apprehensive would be Mom. No, Mom's like gung-ho. We have like gypsy blood in our we have to have gypsy blood somewhere. We are always ready for a new adventure, a new challenge, something different. Okay. And like I said, I absolutely love this property. I love where I am. The country is beautiful. And but again, the number for me personally, the number one drawback is the winter. I just as I get older, I just detest it so much more every single year. But I got a buddy of mine trying to talk me into West Virginia. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to go down, do my due diligence, look and see what's available, where it's at, how much it's going to be. All those things play into it. You know what I mean? So we're just going to go with that and just kind of, and again, it's going for an adventure, Yeah, JJ, it still gets cold in North Carolina. We'll address that in a second. Hey, Asif, are you still planning on doing your addition? You know what? I am not sure, because if I am going to make a move, I may not do the addition. So that's a great question too, by the way, Asif. Thank you for asking that. If I do decide to make this move, I probably will not do the addition, because it wouldn't make sense. I could keep this as a seasonal property and spend the majority of my time down south. So, like I would definitely come up here and hang out in the summer, or in the fall, early fall when the leaves are all changing because it's absolutely gorgeous. But, I have to really make a decision of where I would be. So, addressing the one question that JJ said, still gets cold in North Carolina. Let's put it like this: not as cold as New York. Hey, Patriot James, I'll build a still for you and Mama. I'm begging here. That's funny. That's awesome. Yeah, right. A still would be fun, right? Out in the middle of nowhere with our own little still. Uh, but yeah, thank you again for the donation too. I do appreciate that. Yeah, Eastern. Okay, so look at Eastern Tennessee. Amazing countryside and the mountains are beautiful. That's where I'm actually looking. Hey, Mountain Girl, stopping by to show support for the channel. Best wishes going forward, PN1. My best to the kids as well. Gypsy blood here as well. My roots are here, but love to travel. And thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the donation. Yeah, it's just for me, it's fun. It's a new adventure. It's trying something different and going out of your comfort zone. And so many people just won't do that. They will not go out of their comfort zone. But to me, it's just fun. But I like Eastern Tennessee is where I'm actually looking at. I talked to, like I said, the young man I talked to, and actually I wanted to give, hold on a second, I wrote it down here. I wanted to give a quick shout out to somebody. Let me just see. Okay, Green Greg's. There's a channel down in that area. I guess he watches the channel all the time, and I guess he's in the chat quite a bit as well. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Green Greg's. He has his channel, so let's go show him some support as well, and keep supporting each other. I think that's really, really important. But you talk about weather. I have a buddy of mine that lives in Pennsylvania, and there's a huge mountain that you drive through. And the difference in the weather, if you are on the north side of the mountain, and once you go through and you're on the south side of the mountain, no, I didn't talk to Pinball yet. I am going to reach out to him. I am going to reach out to Pinball, but anyway, once you got on the other side of the mountain, the weather was completely different. Like on the one side, it could be snowing and nasty. Once you drove through the mountain, you got to the other side and it was raining. So the further south you go, the weather, winters in the mountains, I don't care if it's in the mountains of, Tennessee, that don't scare me at all. I mean, we're in Eastern Tennessee, where the young man that I was talking to is from. He said they get an average of about 6 inches of snow a year. Well, that's a dusting for up here. 6 inches is nothing. So, that would not be any kind of issue at all. Guys, I see we're at 946 in the chat. We're at 297 on the thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up, I'm going to ask you to do that, please, to show support for the channel. And thank you for doing that ahead of time. I do appreciate that. Again, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction we have, it pushes us up higher in the rankings with YouTube. And I appreciate it for that reason as well. So thank you. Of course, and then the third reason is I like to see a lot of thumbs up. It's just a little game I like to play. So thank you for doing it for that reason as well. Again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time. So, but anyway, let me go back to what I was talking about here. We're still going to be doing stuff here. We're still going to work on the front and get that all squared away. We're still going to put in the other raised beds this year. I may see. Okay, as far as the addition goes, and I had planned originally to do it this year, but again, if you guys have paid attention to what the lumber prices have done, they are astronomical. They are absolutely crazy this year. So I was going to start it and then, kind of see where I was at, financially, to be able to see how much of it I could do or not do. So I may hold off on that. Again, if I get a property for sure, I probably will not build the addition up here because I won't need to. I would keep it, like I said, this could be a seasonal homestead, and here's the other thing too. Like if Becky says, well, she's got somebody that she's been talking to and they end up together. Let's just, say that, that works out the way that she hopes it does. And I hope for her sake that it does. But she could stay here if she wanted to. So, I could take mom with me and we go down to South Carolina and, or Tennessee or wherever we end up going. Um, and mom comes down with me and she's there on whatever new homestead we're starting. And then Becky would be here. So we would have somebody here at this homestead to keep an eye on things, to keep things up and running and make sure everything is okay. And then we just start brand new down there. That's part of the adventure. That's part of the fun. Again, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and it'll be cool. To me, it'll be really, really cool. And like I said, I just love a new adventure. I just love a new adventure. So, Ed, are you going riding tomorrow? It's going to be nice. Yes, actually, both of my great nephews are here. They are, I think, 10 and 6 now. I think something like that. I've taken them both for rides before when they were a lot littler. So I just took them down the road and came back. But now they're a little bit bigger, so they'll be able to handle it better. And so I'm going to definitely take them out for a little ride tomorrow. And I know they love that, so that's pretty cool. Hey, I am 3 hours from East Tennessee. Can visit you often. That would be very cool, man. I would really like that. If that's where we end up, absolutely, that would be very, very cool. So the town that I was looking at near, okay, I looked down. Thank you very much for the donation too. I appreciate that. The town that, is kind of like where the real estate person would be. The town has a population of 952. I like that. Just emailed me a realtor, East Tennessee Preparedness. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. So, but yeah, like I said, starting something new, starting a new project, and I like the idea of having choices. If things go to total garbage, which I truly believe that they will. I have no doubt. If you see everything that's going on, and you're paying attention to stuff. I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but we just sent 2 warships to the Baltic Sea. So, with the situation, with Russia massing troops on the border with Ukraine, it's kind of, serious stuff because, we're saying we're going to back them, right? Same situation with Taiwan. China's flexing their muscles out in that area. We have ships out in that area too. So there's a lot of things that could happen really, really quick. Are you bringing your bike on your trips? Lots of great places to ride. I am not sure yet if I'm going to do that, because especially if I'm looking at really rural property up in the mountains someplace, I don't know what the roads are going to be like. So might not be a good idea to take the bike. I'd love to, but we'll see. I don't know yet. I'm not sure which way we're going to do it. But yeah, so that's so just so you guys know too, I know I talked about this earlier another time. I'm still doing Sturgis this year too. I'm absolutely doing Sturgis. So we're going to be doing that. We actually got a campground area reserved. And so looking forward to that. I think that is going to be an absolute blast. So I did see somebody shot me an email about meeting up on the way out. They're in Indiana. And so I will be in contact with you again, so we'll just see how everything goes. But so here's an interesting one. And I think, so DMX, I think is what the rapper DMX was 50 years old, just died of a massive heart attack. The families are saying that there were no drugs involved, right? And it was just days after he got isn't that interesting? So I thought that was very, very interesting. So, but I'm sure there's absolutely no correlation with that. No, of course not, because it's perfectly safe. Just ask them; they'll tell you. So, I have 7 acres on a deer lodge in Tennessee. My go-to bug out property. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. How-to video, Ed. We must not forget that in 1988, Prince Philip stated, in the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus to contribute something to solving our population. Wow. I didn't know he said that. That's very nice. That's very nice. Yes, and he just died, 99 years old. Married 73 years. That is just, man. DMX did a lot of coke in his younger years. Well, I'm sure that affected his heart as well. Well, a lot of them, a lot of them did, especially back in the 80s. 80s was a big coke era. And I'm not talking Coca-Cola. So, yeah, you know what? I heard two things. Okay, I heard that he overdosed, and that's what happened. Then they're saying that it was a heart attack, and that it's I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sure the autopsy will come out. They'll do a toxicology test. I'm sure they'll release that, and we'll know more about that when the time comes. But you know, 50 years old, you shouldn't be dropping dead. That's just, to me, that's younger than me. So I got to tell you this one. I was laughing. So a buddy of mine lives around the corner. Lifetime preparedness. How many acres do you have? I'm moving from Ulster, New York to South Carolina in September. Want to start my homestead. My subs don't know about the move yet. LOL. Um, you know what? To me, what would be perfect would be between 5 and 10 acres. That would be perfect. I have 3 acres here, which I have not even come close to utilizing all the property, as you guys know. So there is, you know, what you have to think about when you're buying property, if you're looking for some place, how much privacy do you want? How far away from people do you want to be? If you buy 20 acres, let's say you can get 20 acres at a decent price, right? And you can put your place well in, right in the center of that. Keep all those trees all the way around, so even from the main road, nobody's going to see it. That's perfect. That affords you all the privacy that you want. You can clear out a good size area in the center of that and have your homestead. But, everybody wants between 5 and 10 acres these days, Patty S said. Well, again, like I said, it depends on how much privacy you want. The more private you want, the more land you want, so the less people can be closer to you. If there are plots of land and they're selling, 3 to 5 acre lots, let's say, like where I live here, okay, all these lots up here were like 3 acre lots. So you had some people bought, 3 lots at one shot, or however they did it, at the time when they initially purchased the properties up here. And again, individual choice, how much privacy you want, where do you want to be. Greg, as you guys know, who lives behind me, he's got 80 acres up there. So and if you drive into his driveway, he's way back in, so you don't see his home from the road. You just don't see it, and that's a cool thing. So it would take longer for an ambulance to get to you. One drawback. You know what? That's true. But those are choices that you make. You have to, everything. I'm going to tell you what, guys, crossing the street is a risk. You can get hit by a car. You can get hit by a bus. It doesn't matter. Okay. And if you get hit by a bus, it don't matter how close the ambulance is, especially if you get hit pretty hard. It's not gonna matter. Okay. So those are chances that we all take. Running a chainsaw with nobody around, you're taking a chance that way. You watch Greg. If any of the videos that you see where Greg has done chainsaw work, he never wears chaps. He just has jeans on. I've had a couple of close calls, so I wear chaps. That's my own personal thing. Now, he is, marriage is a risk. Exactly, Eric Johnson, right? Yeah, right, exactly. But anything you're going to do, in life, there's a risk factor with it. So if you want to be a farther away from people, yeah, if something happens, it puts you at a longer distance from getting help. But that's okay. Get a satellite phone and they'll chop her in. There you go. Patriot James just said that. There you go. But no, like I said, it's just I had my cousin is a real estate agent, knows every back road property in the Smoky Mountains. Brandy Poffit. Okay, you know what? Do me a favor, Wayland. Shoot me an email with that information, because it's going up here in the chat and it's already gone. I will never remember that. So please do me a favor. shoot me an email at preppernurse1@yahoo.com and give me that information. I definitely will give her a call. And, think he died from being 99 years old, Viking prepper. I'm going to tell you what, you make it to 99, man, you know what? You did something right. So, that's good for him. I mean, that's a good run. That is a real good run, and the queen's still alive. So there you go, and she's up there too. So, but, hopefully you can find a large parcel cheap. Then you can start the PN1 compound. Well, that's kind of part of the game plan. And I know right now there is a ton of preppers down in Tennessee, a ton. So, we could coordinate and work with each other down there. Prince Philip, I'm sorry, passed away. The Queen of England's husband at 99 years old. So, yep. Just a young one. Well, my my half sister's mom, she just passed away. She was 95. So, that's again, that's a good run. I've always said, and it's kind of like a joke, just so you know, so please don't be offended when I say this. I said I'm going to be in my 90s and I'm going to be shot by a jealous husband